Rome was in discord. A once proud republic grappled with slave rebellions, civil unrest, and the constant haunting specter of war. The city's once majestic streets now echoed with the clamor of slums and shadows of impending collapse. Yet, among this tumult, a transformative force awaited its moment. An enigmatic figure, a conqueror, both a savior and destroyer of Rome, poised to reshape the destiny of the eternal city. Hello, and welcome to Impactful Moments, where we explore some of the most, you guessed it, impactful moments in human history. In this video, we will discuss the life and death of Julius Caesar, the man who came, saw, and conquered. The Roman Republic, fresh off its victories in the Punic Wars, faced a bittersweet aftermath. Despite undisputed power and territorial expansion, economic disarray and societal unrest had led to tension within the city and across the Republic. Class divisions, intensified by unequal distribution of the spoils of war, manifested in vastly differing political groups. The optimates, representing the traditional elite, and populares, advocating for the common citizens. In the 130s and 120s BCE, efforts to enhance the rights of the common citizens, notably by Tiberius and Gaius Gracchus, faced violent opposition, intensifying the rift between the optimates and populares. This mounting tension built for decades and culminated in the Sullan Civil War during the 80s BCE. Lucius Cornelius Sulla, championing the elite, marched on Rome, defeating the populares, led by Gaius Marius and Lucius Cornelius Cinna. His victory established an elitist republic in the Roman political landscape. Amidst the political turmoil, on July 12, 100 BCE, a child was born to two patrician parents, Aurelia Cotta and Gaius Julius Caesar. Given his birth into a political family, Julius, who is named after his father, received a comprehensive education, including rhetoric, literature, and philosophy. His father served as a praetor, senator, and governor, instilling young Julius with a first-hand understanding of the complexities of Roman governance. His father's sudden death in 85 BCE, however, gave Julius charge of the family, forcing him to lean on his familial contacts. Julius was made a high priest of Jupiter by his uncle, Gaius Marius, and married the daughter of Cinna, two leaders during the Sullan Civil War, aligning Julius with the populares. When Sulla and the optimates won the war, Julius was forced into hiding, stripped of his priesthood, and robbed of his inheritance. Caesar emerged from hiding when his mother's family aligned with Sulla, but still chose a cautious path, joining a military unit stationed far from Rome and Sulla's direct influence. With notable successes, he earned the esteemed Corona Civica, a prestigious military award. Following Sulla's death, Caesar returned to Rome at age 22, settling in the more affordable, crime-ridden quarters given his stolen inheritance. Here he honed his oration skills, defending the common populace and prosecuting corrupt politicians, gaining widespread popularity. Notably, his life experiences, including a daring kidnap by Cilician pirates, whom he later hunted down, began painting him as a larger-than-life persona. Caesar then embarked on his political ascent, starting as a military tribune and quaestor, steadily ascending through the ranks. His strategic marriage to Pompeia and alliances with influential figures like Marcus Crassus and Gnaeus Pompey, who married his daughter, propelled him further, marking key milestones in his meteoric rise, including becoming Pontifex Maximus, the High Priest of Rome. At age 38, Caesar continued his political ambitions as he secured positions as praetor and then governor of Hispania Ulterior, a province in modern-day Spain, both within a year. To further solidify his power, Caesar mediated a relationship between two of Rome's most powerful men and bitter rivals, Crassus and Pompey. In a remarkable move, Caesar met with the two rivals, forming a groundbreaking informal political alliance colloquially known as the First Triumvirate. The three men consolidated their power through this agreement, helping pursue their individual and collective interests in Roman politics. The next year, Caesar was elected consul, the most powerful position in Rome. While undoubtedly a brilliant political tactician, Caesar's rise to this point was within the realm of Roman politics. It was the latter half of his career, beginning with his post-consul governorship in the province of Italian Gaul, that set him apart from all those before him. Caesar's military prowess peaked during his conquest of Gaul, a region that had vexed Rome for decades. From 58 to 50 BCE, Caesar conducted a series of successful military campaigns called the Gallic Wars, with hotly contested battles at Gergovia and Alesia against the Gallic general Arvernian Vercingetorix. This brought immense pride and wealth to Rome and incredible popularity for Caesar among the people. After renewing the triumvirate in 55 BCE and extending his governorship for another 5 years, the glory of his conquests were tempered by personal and political turmoil. The death of Crassus in 53 BCE marked the disintegration of the triumvirate, and the subsequent death of Caesar's daughter, married to Pompey, severed ties with his other crucial political ally. Caesar's unprecedented popularity also led to a growing sense of mistrust and animosity with Pompey and among the Senate. Politicians worked to paint Caesar as a figure willing to bypass established norms and traditions for the sake of his personal and political ambitions. One such example was pinning a famine that hit Rome while Caesar was in Gaul on Caesar's previous agricultural policies. With political tensions high and concern over Caesar's growing unchecked power, in 50 BCE the Senate was convinced to recall Caesar back to Rome with a disbanded legion. Caesar, keenly aware of the animosity that the government elites harbored toward him, had to grapple with the choice of returning to Rome without an army and face potential harm or persecution, or maintain his military command in Gaul, which could be seen as insubordination or even treason. In one of history's most audacious moves, on January 49 CE, Caesar crossed the Rubicon River, the border between Cisalpine Gaul and Italy. Rather than going it alone, however, he did so with his 13th Legion. Crossing the Rubicon, which became a phrase synonymous with making an irreversible decision, was seen as an invasion of Rome, resulting in civil war. In the early stage of the war, Caesar chased Pompey out of Italy. He conquered Iberia from Pompeian forces and confronted Pompey in a non-decisive defeat at Dyrrhachium. They met again in the Battle of Pharsalus in Greece in 48 BCE, where Caesar's far outnumbered forces decisively defeated Pompey, who ultimately fled to Egypt. There he was betrayed by King Ptolemy XIII, who had him beheaded and had the head presented to Caesar. While Caesar was furious, as he aimed to be merciful to his adversaries, his dominance in Rome nevertheless solidified. Over the next 4 years, Caesar would battle against uprisings in Asia Minor, famously saying, Veni vidi vici, I came, I saw, I conquered, and Pompeian supporters in Africa and Spain, where, in the Battle of Munda, Caesar's forces defeated Gnaeus and Sextus Pompey, ending the war. While away, politics in Rome continued to strain. Caesar left Mark Antony in charge to disastrous results. Following unrest and riots within Rome, Antony used force and bloodshed to quell the uprising, hurting his, and by proxy Caesar's, reputations. Caesar assumed the role of dictator in Rome 4 times throughout the course of this civil war. Although intended as a temporary measure during moments of crisis, Caesar's repeated elections to this position heightened concerns among his critics about the accumulation of excessive power. Caesar's administrative decisions, which often circumvented the Senate and resulted in the removal of opposing tribunes, curtailed the genuine freedoms that the Republic was designed to afford its citizens. Each of these actions contributed to the perception of Caesar as an increasingly autocratic tyrant. When Caesar assumed the role of dictator perpetuo, or dictator for life, in February 44 BCE, this move was deemed by many as the ultimate transgression, especially in light of the oath made at the inception of the Republic, to never allow a king to rule over the people. Around 60 senators took decisive action on the Ides of March, March 15, 44 BCE. In Caesar's final Senate meeting before embarking on an extended military campaign in Parthia, Caesar fell victim to between 23 and 35 stab wounds administered by the hands of the senators and lay dead on the Senate floor. Julius Caesar's life and events following his demise had profound and far-reaching impacts on the course of Roman history. His assassination on the Ides of March in 44 BCE, led by Brutus and Cassius, ignited a series of civil wars to fill the power vacuum left in Caesar's wake. While Caesar had no eligible heirs, he named his great-nephew Octavius as his inheritor. Octavius, while young, was shrewd and quickly took control of his power, eventually connecting with other influential politicians, Mark Antony and Marcus Aemilius Lepidus. Together they formed the Second Triumvirate and, along with their followers, engaged in the Liberators' Civil War against the senators responsible for Caesar's death. The Triumvirate emerged victorious following the Battle of Philippi in 42 BCE. The subsequent division of power between Octavius and Antony led to additional tensions, igniting the War of Actium, in which Octavius defeated Mark Antony and Cleopatra, both of whom took their lives upon the defeat in 30 BCE. Their defeat marked an end to a century of Roman civil unrest and set the sun on the Roman Republic. In 27 BCE, the Roman Principate was established, giving Octavius unprecedented power by the Senate. With his new level of power, Octavius became the first Roman emperor, adopting the title Augustus, and sparking a roughly 200-year period of peace called Pax Romana. Julius Caesar's story has been told throughout the ages, from Shakespeare to modern retellings through art, literature, and movies. Julius Caesar's life, political acumen, and military dominance were so thorough that his name has become synonymous with leadership. The title Caesar has evolved into a symbolic representation of authoritative rule, such as Kaiser in German, Tsar in Russian, and various other linguistic variations. Caesar's rule set in motion the transition from the tumultuous Roman Republic to the initially stable Principate and Empire, a period recognized as one of the most significant transitions in recorded human history. This era established a precedent for centralized authority and imperial governance that would shape the Roman Empire for centuries to come. The concept of monarchy, once abhorred by the Romans, was reborn in the guise of the Roman emperor, paving the way for the monarchies and empires that emerged across Europe for hundreds of years after the fall of Rome. The establishment of Pax Romana, a period of relative peace and stability brought about by Augustus's consolidation of power, profoundly influenced the social and economic landscape. This era of peace facilitated cultural flourishings, economic prosperity, and the dissemination of Roman ideals throughout the vast empire. The Pax Romana laid the groundwork for the diffusion of Roman law, the Latin tongue, which significantly influenced all Western languages, and engineering prowess, contributing to the development of a cohesive Western identity that can be sensed across the globe and which governs billions throughout the world today. If you enjoyed this video and found it informative, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us to continue creating captivating, impactful, historical content. Thanks for watching.